Everybody's favourite brewery, the good ship BrewDog, seem to have sailed into stormy waters. Yesterday, they announced they're closing 10 of their craft beer bars, including their flagship in Aberdeen. Thought we'd delve into the news, find out what's actually happening, and have a little discussion here on Scott Reviews Things. Hello again and welcome back to Scott Reviews Things. Hope you're all keeping really well. So BrewDog become a bit of a dirty word in certain sectors of the craft beer world or universe. Once the absolute pioneers, rule breakers and makers of very decent craft beer. The original Punk IPA, one of the beers that transformed me from a bitter sort of directors, John Smiths, all that sort of stuff, and lager over to the craft beer scene. And probably the same with a lot of people. Them Lagunitas, Thornbridge with Jaipur, just Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, just Torpedo, just fantastic beers. And BrewDog, with their no-nonsense punk look at things, were absolutely in the very first in the sphere that changed beer in this country. They've had some rocky times with James Watt and Martin Dickey and the way they've treated their staff. Their beer quality, let's be honest, has gone down enormously over the years. The quality in the supermarket of their supermarket beers has been atrocious for some time. But I thought I'd take a look at the article, because yesterday, as I said in the opening, they announced that they're going to be closing 10 low power mode, 10 of their craft beer places, some of them imminently, and that's incredible. And more importantly, their flagship up in Aberdeen. So I'm going to go on to Sky News, and then we might have a look around the web at other websites to see where the information changes, to see what we can take out of it. So on Sky News, it's got BrewDog to shut 10 bars, including its flagship. BrewDog has announced it will shut 10 of its bars. Just repeat himself. The brewery will close bars in Brighton, Oxford, York, and several in London. It's not yet clear how many jobs will be affected, and I think this is a key point, because when we slate BrewDog, we sometimes forget the amount of staff that this company actually employs. BrewDog said it would try to redeploy as many members of staff as possible who are facing redundancy. After initial reports that some staff members would only have 3 days' notice, the company clarified to Sky News they would have a minimum of 14 days' notice. Still not a lot. That's still not a lot. The cuts were first announced in a note to staff in which Chief Executive James Taylor said that the decision was part of a wider refresh to the company's strategy in response to the challenging UK hospitality market. These challenges, Taylor said, included rising costs, increased regulation, and economic pressures. And maybe the fact that your beer's shit, I may suggest, Mr. Taylor. Not just me, many people. Look, a lot of people still like BrewDog, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. If I go to a BrewDog bar, they have a very good selection of guest beers. I'm fucked if I'm paying £7 a pint for Punk. That's where your problems are lying, because you're charging, some of your problems are lying, because you're charging premium price for substandard quality beer. Taylor added, despite our best efforts and the hard work of the teams in each of these bars, it has simply not been possible to find a formula to make these bars viable due to their size, location, and other limiting factors. I would have thought that might come into sort of play when you were looking to put these places and open them. I'm wondering if the Waterloo ones, I haven't seen the ones in London that are going to close. I'm assuming the Waterloo one. I mean, Waterloo one is gigantic. It's like it's raining. It's like a circus. Following much consideration, we have sadly concluded that there is no realistic prospect of making these venues commercially viable. BrewDog experienced years of rapid growth, but that appears to have flattened and it has become vulnerable to wider hospitality issues. The Aberdeen Glasgow Gallowgate site was the first bar BrewDog ever opened, and that's closing as well. So, and it's got the full list here. Here's the full list of bars BrewDog will shut: Aberdeen Gallowgate, Brighton, Camden, Dundee, Leeds, North Street, Oxford, Sheffield, Shepherd's Bush, Shoreditch and York. So it's the ones in London, it's just going to keep, looks like it's just keeping open the one in Waterloo, and that's it. I know Barry Hodges is the one in Sheffield, so I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting subject. Let's go on to the goggle and see if we can find anything else around what it said about BrewDog. Interested in your thoughts on BrewDog. How have you perceived? Have your perception changed over the years? So this is the Times article. If we can drill down into it. I agree. Cookies. Enjoy. I don't want to log in. I don't want to subscribe. Is it going to let me do it, or is it not? Oh. The one from the Times you have to subscribe to. I'm paying for it. Let's have a look at the Guardian then. See what they say. It'll largely be the same. BrewDog will close 10 bars. Much consideration. BrewDog is based in Aberdeenshire. Said it employed more than 3,000 people worldwide in 2023 after a period of significant expansion. The business was founded as a punk challenger brand by the entrepreneurs James Watt and Martin Dickey in 2006, and Dickey's mother's garage in Fraserburgh, Aberdeenshire, and has expanded to supply beer to supermarkets, open bars and open hotels. The company declined to comment on how many staff could lose their jobs, but said it was going through a meaningful and appropriate consultation process with everyone affected. This process will last at least 2 weeks, it said, with one-to-one meetings for every person at risk. A spokesman for BrewDog said, "We are working hard to minimise the impact on our people, and we expect to redeploy many affected team members across the BrewDog network." Well, as long as they can fit in wherever they're being redeployed, they could be asked to move somewhere else. News of the closures come as the hospitality sector faces growing cost pressures with higher national insurance contributions and increases to the living wage. The hotel and pub chain Oakham Inns recently went into administration, according to reports. The Hertfordshire-based chain has closed 6 sites, resulting in 159 job losses. Taylor is the second chief executive at BrewDog within the space of a year, after the former boss, James Arrow, left the business for personal reasons in March. Taylor had been the chief financial officer at the company since 2023. Watt stepped down as its boss last year. The latest accounts for BrewDog showed several revenue had grown from 321 million to 355 million in the year ending 2023. However, higher costs and write-downs on underperforming bars meant that pre-tax losses widened from 30 million to 59.2 million. The squeeze on the hospitality industry has hit pubs hard. More than 400 pubs in England and Wales closed last year, with the overall number falling well below 39,000 for the first time. Stop recording. I think it's interesting that a company of the size of BrewDog, and I think we can all say that their beer has declined. So, and when your beer declines, but your prices are still at the same price, and I've said this for a long time, pre-COVID, I believe a lot of these breweries were taking the piss. I think they were taking the piss out of us, and they were making. And someone, if I'm wrong in this, then please feel free to shoot me down, because That's absolutely fine. But I think a lot of these breweries were making hay while the weather was good. So they were charging premium price and making a premium profit at the same time for a lot of these beers. Once COVID hit and the world went to shit, they reopened, prices have soared on everything since, and those margins have narrowed and narrowed and narrowed and narrowed. So where they were making big profits before, or bigger profits before, those profits have narrowed, so they're not making. So you're seeing breweries go. Obviously, the taxation issues. We've got issues with the national insurance rises and the living wage, and all of these things. But when you've got a company like BrewDog that are shutting places down as well now, and they're not the all-seeing eye. They're not the untouchable anymore, and their beer quality, crucially, has sunk through the floor. And they're not the only brewery that have done that. There are breweries out there where you can tell. Cloudwater, for one. Cloudwater, another one of. This is a personal opinion. I think Cloudwater's beer quality has nosedived in the last 2 years. I was at their tap room over the last weekend. I had a couple of beers and they were okay, but in the past those beers would have blown me away. So the fact that BrewDog are in trouble, and you look at the size of the campus that Cloudwater have got, I think they've got 4 or 5 units on that industrial estate, and at some point something's going to give. And BrewDog being probably the biggest non-macro beer provider in the UK, possibly Europe, might be Guinness. Oh, they're macro. I think it's telling they're going to start closing some of their bars. My worry is for the people that are going to be made redundant. Obviously, 14 days and they're out of a job, but they will be asked to relocate. It's hard, isn't it? And it's a hard business to get your head around sometimes. Interested in your thoughts in this. Have you used BrewDog bars? We've got one in Southampton. That doesn't look like that's on the list. Don't go there. If I go to a BrewDog bar, I'm generally looking in the guest section because they do some very good guest beers. But I think it's sad as well, because I think it could be the end of an era. Because whether you like BrewDog or you hate BrewDog, because they are very Marmite these days, you can't deny their place in beer history in the UK. And I do feel very sorry for the people that are about to lose their jobs because of probably mismanagement over the years. So leave a comment down below what you think about this. Leave a comment if you think I'm wrong. That's absolutely fine as well. Tell me I'm an arsehole, that's fine as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Beer discussion and the discussion around beer is interesting. It's an interesting thing. The channel is always revolved slightly around beer, although it does other things these days, but I always come back to beer when I see interesting stories, and for me this is an interesting story. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below. There's a subscribe button somewhere, and I'll see you very soon.